In the real world, equity-based compensation is not only about share prices. It's about volatility, correlation, and performance threshold over time. I'm Aubrey Tsambatare, and I interned with KPMG's Complex Financial Instrumentation Valuations team. I was primarily responsible for building financial models to value derivatives like swaps, options, and stock-based compensations. I'll talk a little bit about stock-based compensation, specifically a PSU, which I spend most of my time in. So what is a PSU? A PSU is a form of equity-based compensation that is given to executives, and it's usually vested based on a performance period, usually relative to the PSR of a group of peer companies. So to value this instrument, a PSU, I would build a Monte Carlo-based simulation model where I would simulate thousands of share prices for the company as well as its peer companies to try and find a probability-weighted outpay and the fair price for reporting purposes. Another instrument I spent a lot of time on was swaps. It was different types of swaps, interest rate swaps, cross-currency swaps. Some of them were amortized, some of them were not. So depending on what type of swap I was valuing, I used a different strategy, but for the sake of this, I'll use just a vanilla swap. So I would primarily use Bloomberg's swap manager function to value the swap, and I would make sure that right market curves were used and that the amortizing schedule was up to date. If the swap was collateralized, then I would take the Bloomberg valuation and use it directly. But if it wasn't collateralized, then I would have to take an extra step and build an Excel model to account for the CVA deviation to find the specific value for it. Lastly, I spent a lot of time on options. So if it was a basic European option, like a basic European core put option, then I would use a tool called FinCAD, where I would source inputs from sources like risk-free rate and volatility from sources like Bloomberg and use that for valuation. However, for American style options, which were a little more complex, I would then build a model from scratch, an Excel model, where I would have to account for the earlier exercises features of such an option. And once these valuations were done, once I've made my conclusion, I would then have to prepare a client-ready report that summarizes my findings, the methodologies I used, the assumptions I made, and the findings I have, and then I'll ship those to my managers to verify my work before we ship it out to a client. So apart from the technicals, which is obviously valuations techniques and a deeper understanding of derivatives, I also had other key non-technical takeaways from my internship, which is that presentation and clarity was very crucial because most of this job was a lot of interaction with clients, and a lot of your work was very client-facing. And that also brings another key takeaway I took, which is effective communication, because my daily work would involve hopping on a course with external clients, usually very senior people from big companies, and understanding their requirements for valuations and then put that into work. And I would like to take this opportunity to thank everybody at KPMG who worked with me, taught me something, and made my internship a success. It was a very busy period, but I'm glad we did it. Thank you.